Hi, second graders. Today we're going to be working on regrouping hundreds as tens. So, let's go over our math words: place value, regroup. So remember, regrouping is that where you go next door and you borrow, and you have to regroup your numbers so you have enough to subtract. And ones, tens, and hundreds. So let's go and read our problem. It says a school has 325 students. 143 of the students ride the bus. How many students do not ride the bus? Well, I was one of those kiddos who did ride the bus when I was growing up. So what we're going to do is we're subtracting, because this is a part whole again. Remember, when we talk about part whole, we have this bar and we have part of the group, part of them ride the bus. So 143 ride the bus. So we're trying to figure out, this is our other part. We're trying to figure out what part does not ride the bus. So to figure that out, we take the total, 325, and we subtract from the one part that we know to find the part that we don't know. Okay, so let's go through. Subtract 325 minus 143 to find the difference. Remember, difference means the answer to a subtraction problem. Line up the numbers by place value to subtract. So 325 minus 143. So 5 pieces of candy on the top. I'm going to circle this number. I have 5 pieces of candy. Can I take 3 away? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. Now let's go to my tens place. 2 on the top. I have 2 pieces of candy. Can I take 4 away from 2? No, I can't. So now I'm going to borrow from my next door neighbor again. It's the same thing as we did when we borrow from the ones to the tens, except for now we're just going from the tens to the hundreds. So we go to my next door neighbor and I say, 3, can I please have a hundreds block? And the hundreds is like, sure. So the hundreds block gives 1 away. So the 3 becomes a 2 and the 2 becomes a 12. So it's very similar in the fact that you are doing basically the exact same thing as you were doing before. But now, instead of breaking up tens into ones, we're breaking up hundreds into tens. See how they broke this 100 block up into 10 tens? So now I have 12 minus 4, which equals 8, and then I have 2 minus 1, which equals 1. So 182 students do not ride the bus. So let's move on. Let's keep rolling. We'll keep rolling to the back side. And I will hit done, and I will go on to the next page. So let's edit this guy. And we will edit. Oh, he's a little blurry, but I think he'll do. So let's practice. So we are going to start with my number up in the top right. 6 minus 6. Well, I have 6 pieces of candy. Can I take 6 away? Yes, I have 0 now. Now I start here, my 1, can I take, and if it helps you to circle it, you can circle it too. I have 1 piece of candy, can I take away 3? No. So I go to my next door neighbor, my 100, and my 100 guy, can I please have a hundreds block? And he's like, sure, I'd love to give you hundreds blocks. So the 4 becomes a 3, and this 1 becomes an 11. So now I have 11 minus 3, which equals 8, and 3 minus 2, which equals 1. Let's go on to number 2. 7. I have 7 pieces of candy. Can I take 2 away? Yes, I can. That becomes a 5. Now I have a 4. I have 4 pieces of candy. Can I take 8 away? You can't do that. So I go to my next door neighbor and I say, 3, can I please have a block? And he's like, sure. So my 3 becomes a 2 and my 4 becomes a 14. Now I have 14 and I subtract 8 and that equals 6. And I have 2 minus 1, which equals 1. Let's go on to number 3. 8 minus 8 equals 0. Circle that number if that helps you. I have a 2. Can I take 3 away from 2? No, I cannot. So I go next door and my 1 becomes a 0 and my 2 becomes a 12. Now I have 12 minus 3, which equals 9. Number 4. Circle that 9. Subtract. 9 minus 4 equals 5. I don't have to borrow. Circle that next one, 1. 1 minus 6. Can I do that? No, I cannot. I go to my 3. My 3 says, sure, give you a hundreds block. The 3 becomes a 2, and the 1 becomes a 11. 11 minus 6 equals 5. 2 minus 1 equals 1. 4 minus 1 equals 3. 7 minus 9. Ooh, 7 I can't take 9 away from 7. So I go to my 8. My 8 becomes a 7. My 7 becomes a 17. And 17 minus 9 equals 8. And 7 minus 2 equals 5. Number 6, 549 minus 377. Circle that top right number, 9 minus 7. Yep, I can do that. 9 minus 7 equals 2. 4. Can I take 7 pieces of candy away from 4? No, I cannot. Cross out my 5, becomes a 4. My 4 becomes a 14. 14 minus 7 equals 7. It's a double. 7 plus 7 equals 14. So 14 minus 7 equals 7. 4 minus 3 equals 1. Number 7, 454 minus 170. Circle my top right number. 4 minus 0 equals 4. 5 minus 7. Can't do that, right? I can't take 7 pieces of candy away from 5. My 4 becomes a 3. My 5 becomes a, oh goodness, I keep grabbing the wrong thing. Becomes a 15. 15 minus 7 equals 8. And 3 minus 1 equals 2. So 284. Now this next row, I want you to try it on your own and then press play once you're finished with it so that you can see if you can do it on your own, if you can be independent. Once you're finished with it, press play and then watch me do it. 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3 equals 5. 2 minus 3. Can't do that. I have to go next door. 8 becomes a 7. The 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 3 equals 9. 7 minus 3 equals 4. So now I have 495. Let's look at number 9. Circle the top right number. I have 4 pieces of candy. Can you take 2 away from 4? Yes, you can. So 4 minus 2 equals 2. Let's go to the tens place. I have a 2. Can I take 7 away from 2? Of course I can't. So I have to go to my 9, and I ask my 9, can I please have a hundreds block? And my 9 says, sure. So my 9 becomes an 8, and my 2 becomes a 12 because I have all those extra 10 sticks. 12 minus 7 equals 5, and 8 minus 1 equals 7. 2 more, guys. 9 minus 1. Can I take away 1 from 9? Yes, I can. Ooh, 9 minus 9. Can I, if I have 9 pieces of candy, I gotta put my hands in the right spot so you can see them. If I have 9 pieces of candy, can I take away 9 from that? Of course, I have 0. 6 minus 3 equals 3. 5 minus 2 equals 3. My 6, can I take 9 away from 6? No, I can't. So I have to go next door, get some more, and my 4 becomes a 3, and my 6 becomes a 16. 16 minus 9 is 7, and 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay. Now we just have our problem solving. Here we go. A bakery makes 358 muffins. It sells 166 muffins in the morning. How many muffins are left? This is that part whole, guys, that bar model. So if I have a total of 358 muffins, that's my total, and part is 166, that's how many they sold in the morning. How many are left? So we have to figure that out by subtracting. So you're going to take 358 and you're subtracting minus 166, like so. I'm going to circle my 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. 5 minus 6, oop, can't do that. Go to my 3. My 3 becomes a 2. My 5 becomes a 15. 15 minus 6 equals 9. 2 minus 1 equals 1. So I have 192 muffins left. That's a lot of muffins, guys. What would you do with 192 muffins? Explain how regrouping hundreds as tens is like regrouping tens as ones. So let's just talk about it. You don't have to actually write it down. So they're very similar in the fact that you're going to the next place value and you are taking um, one of their hundreds or tens and you are breaking it apart to use for yourself. Now, in the case of regrouping tens as ones, you're taking apart a 10. And in the case of regrouping hundreds, you're taking apart a 100. So hopefully that helps you guys to learn this lesson. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.